too. I know Douglas Preston had a lot of problems with...
No, tell me about that. I didn't.
Oh, well, he wrote a whole book about it called The Monster of Florence, and he worked with a local journalist there, and they essentially, in their investigation of it, they found that there are a lot of things the police and the prosecuting attorney messed up or covered up, and it got to the point where Douglas Preston had to leave Italy or he was going to be arrested, and he can't go back to Italy ever again.
Wow.
And it's I think they're making they just announced they're making a movie. Who was in it? George Clooney. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. So everybody will know about it since it's a George Clooney movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be, and the Amanda Knox case.
Right.
That's gotten. She's from Seattle where I live, and so it's gotten a lot of press up there. So it's, I think there's a lot of problems all over Italy with the judicial system. Is your book going to be published in Italy?
No, they don't want to. It's not sold the right. The Italians were not interested in the rights.
Yeah, well, I
okay.
have a 2-book deal, but they didn't know what the second book was going to be, so I don't know if they're going to have a issue with it. We'll see.
We'll see.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy.
Boyd, you mentioned one of our community's inventions that had the gears. I didn't quite catch the name.
It's called the Antikythera mechanism, and it's
Anti-what?
Antikythera. It's a island off of Greece called Antikythera. So that's where they found the shipwreck. And initially, they were more interested in all the bronze and marble statues that they found in the shipwreck. They think that it was a shipment to either from Italy or to Italy, and one of the reasons the bronze statues were so interesting to them and so treasured is because bronze was a valued commodity in the ancient world, and statues were often melted down and turned into weapons or new statues, and so very few survived from that time period. And so they found the mechanism along with the statue, and it was kind of just put in a storage room, and they didn't even pay attention to it until 40 or 50 years later, and then started studying it and realized what they had, and that it was so unusual. It really changed what they knew about the capabilities of the ancient world. And if this represented what could have been built, there might be other bronze items out there to be found. And it would be pretty exciting to know that they had built these complicated devices back then.
I love your books, by the way.
Thank you.
And I have 2 questions. One is, and I can't remember her name, the baseball scout.
Oh, Cassidy Sanderson?
Yes. Are you going to go back to her? And also, do you have trouble writing the scenes of violence?
Oh, good questions. I don't have plans to go back to Cassidy, but a lot of people really like her. She's a woman baseball scout in Be the One. But maybe I was thinking maybe she and Anna could somehow cross paths, because it's, crime and baseball. The scenes of violence, I don't have problems doing it because they're necessary to the story, and they hopefully rise organically. I'm not a gun person, and so I come to it really from the FBI's point of view. And I have a friend who's on the SWAT team, so he helps me orchestrate those scenes, and especially in White Shotgun. You'll see there are some big operations that take place there, and there's some sniper stuff, and he advised me on it. So seeing it through the sights of his, rifle, makes it logical and necessary. So as long as I have that point of view, I feel clean about it. But gratuitous violence and stuff, I can't go there. Yeah. So it's all in the criminal aspect.
Uh-huh.
So what are each of you working on now?
I'm currently editing a standalone thriller that's coming out in paperback in November, and I'm also writing the 3rd Tyler Locke thriller that doesn't have a title yet.
The one coming out in November is...
Oh, and the one coming out in November is The Catalyst. It's actually the first book I wrote. I wrote it back in '96 and sold it as part of a 2-book deal with another standalone thriller called Rogue Wave, which came out last year. And when I got the deal, they wanted me to update the book because it was a contemporary thriller, but I wrote it 15 years ago. And so much has changed with technology since then that it really made it anachronistic and set it at that time, which isn't old enough to make it a classic book or it's something that's more timeless. But it wasn't contemporary enough because since then we have Facebook and Google and texting, and in a thriller, all those things can really change how you plot it out.
That's for sure.
And so I had to go back and basically take in all of those into account when I was rewriting it. And the story is still essentially the same, but I definitely did some heavy editing to make it contemporary.
Mm-hmm. And I'm writing another Anna Gray. She comes back from Italy. She survives.
She survives?
Yeah. And now she has to deal with the American criminals.
Do you think that saps since we both write series, do you think that saps the tension knowing that the main character is going to live at the end of the book?
No, because there are other people you care about who don't.
Right. Yeah, you can always introduce other characters that maybe won't make it to the end and how that affects your main character.
Right. I think we all need to believe in our main characters, kind of invincibility in a way. We like to take them through that narrow place where maybe something terrible is going to happen and then feel relieved and inspired that they don't. I mean, we all know George Clooney's going to survive this movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's often, the fun of it is how.
Right. That's right.
You're painted into a corner, now what?
Right.
That's right. Yeah. Anything else? So, Pam, should we have some cookies? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.